Hello my cosmic besties and welcome back to my channel. It's Taurus season finally and I couldn't be more excited for it. Now I might be a little biased since I was born under the Taurus sun in my own chart, so well, it's the placement, it's my placement, this placement of my sun, so obviously I'm super excited for it. And I don't know if I felt the same or if you feel the same or if you will feel the same, but I feel like ever since the sun moved into the sign of Scorpio back in 2022, October of 2022, life, it's like my life just put its gears on, and it just started moving at a very rapid pace, and I just haven't had a moment to slow down up until this moment. And I feel like this is finally going to be the month, this is finally going to be the time when universe gives us that short break, and universe is like, okay, this is your moment, this is your moment to connect with Mother Earth, this is your moment to connect with your inner selves, and this is your moment to connect with the things which you need to do for yourself and not just what you have to do, right? It's finally time where we can tend to the Venus within ourselves and just pamper ourselves, maybe spend some time on the things which we love to do, things which speak to us, things which make us feel secure and grounded. And it can be a lot of things, it can be different things for different people. Maybe it's traveling for you, or maybe it's doing some workouts, doing some intense workout for you. But that is just what I have been feeling like finally, and especially since Mercury will be retrograding tomorrow, that is on the 21st of April. And you might be watching this video after 21st of April, but Mercury is going retrograde in the sign of Taurus on 21st of April. So what it means is that Mercury will be traveling, or it will just appear from our perspective that Mercury is going backwards, right? Mercury is slowing down and Mercury is going backwards. And it's very interesting because Mercury was so close. Mercury was so close to a exact conjunction with Uranus. And as you might know, Uranus is the sign of rebellions, it's the sign which likes to shake things up. And it has been in the sign of Taurus for a long time, and it will stay in the sign of Taurus till 2025. So it is making Uranus being in the sign, Uranus being in the sign of Taurus for this last few years. And for the remainder of its time, Uranus is just creating those changes in the sign of Taurus, because Taurus is a fixed sign. It's a fixed, stable sign. Taurus doesn't like changes. Taurus doesn't like to move too much or shift too much. It likes putting in those roots deep within the earth, and it just likes rooting itself in place. It likes to spread its roots underneath and make itself stronger and stronger with time. But Uranus here is just, it's almost like it's taking up those, it's like it's Uranus is, because Uranus reminds me of lightning, so it's almost like Uranus is striking lightning on those solid roots, and it's destroying those roots from within. And it is changing the essence of what we feel, or what we define as secure, or what we define as stable, or what we define as fixed. So it is changing those fixed systems, those fixed patterns. And well, it is just transforming maybe even the banking industry, and we already see that with the introduction of cryptocurrency now. Well, I'm not giving my opinion on that here, like that's a controversial subject. Some people are all for it, some people don't like it. But then I feel like cryptocurrency is such a Uranus and Taurus thing, because it is changing the way we have dealt with money up until this point. And also, like, money in itself, it has become less of that physical possession kind of a thing, and it has become very digitalized in the last few years, right? And like money, the concept of money in itself, or the concept of wealth in itself has transformed to a great extent over the last few years. So it's less about having those cash with us, it's less about having liquidity in order to feel secure, and it's more about having those digital baby balances and stuff. And because most of the transactions are also done online nowadays, right? The governments of our countries have been have been shifting and promoting the use of digital currency, and it's just more convenient. So Uranus and Taurus is definitely bringing in those conversions, bringing in those changes surrounding the things which we consider stable, and surrounding the things which were just fixed. And Pluto, since Pluto will be moving into the sign of Aquarius for good in 2025 as well, I think. And it will be Pluto has entered the sign of Aquarius right now, but soon it will start going retrograde, and it will move back into the sign of Capricorn until in June of this very year, and then it will stay in Capricorn, finishing up those last bits of its work, those last bits of what has been left undone. And it's just going to go there go back and just put those finishing touches on the things which it wants to change, which it wants to transform, and which it wants to alter. So, and then it comes back into the sign of Aquarius next year. And I think we have a bit of a long period of Pluto in Aquarius next year, and I'll do a whole series. I've been planning to do this whole series on Pluto in Aquarius, but as I said, life has just been feeling so fast paced, and life and time has just been feeling so fast paced, and it's almost like time is slipping out of my hands, and I don't know how to best use this time. So I have been struggling a lot over this last few months with my own daily routine, and how to establish that routine so that it works for me, and so that I can put these videos out in front of you in time. Well, that is another conversation, and that is another topic which I've been dealing with, because that is also, I think, a need. That requirement of a routine, that requirement of a pattern is also so very Taurian in nature. So my soul urging for that, my soul yearning for a fixed routine, my soul yearning to fix a routine is also very Taurus in nature. But if you've been feeling the same, do let me know. Again, share your opinions, share your viewpoints of what you have been feeling over this last few months, or if life have been feeling super fast paced for you as well. Coming back to the topic of Taurus. Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus, which is the goddess of love and compassion. I love that the Lord card came out first, because it just talks about this is the Emperor. It talks about that requirement of slowing down, because you see, the ruler, the Lord, or the Emperor, he does not march into battles. He doesn't start marching into battles. As you can see, he's sitting here and he is waiting, and he takes his time to make decisions. So it just feels very much this energy which we are moving into at this particular moment. And I'm all for it, of course. And I did cover some of the nudity up on these cards, because YouTube is very strict with its rules nowadays, and I just don't want to raise any of those red flags, or get any of those yellow cards or red flags. So yeah, it's just better to do my bit and follow the rules of the host here. So Venus is the planet of love and beauty. Venus loves things which are pleasing. Venus loves creativity. Venus also rules creativity to some extent, to a great extent. It is about the things which are pleasing to the eyes. It is about the things which feel good and taste good. It is about those soft aspects, those softness to life. It's about bringing in those soft features into life. It's about incorporating the love element to life. And taking the pleasure out of life, because, well, we are all marching forward and going towards our goals, but at the same time it's also important to be here in the moment and enjoy what we have at this particular moment, and enjoy and be and take pleasure of all our senses, which is also something which is very Taurian in nature. And so I definitely love this Taurus season for giving us this opportunity, especially with Mercury going retrograde. So it's almost like Mercury is like, yeah, Mercury was about to make that conjunction with Uranus, as I was saying, and before I lost track, Mercury was about to make that conjunction with Uranus before it shifted, before it starts going backwards. And so it's almost like Mercury is saying, yeah, be in this Venus energy for some time, be in this energy for some time, and enjoy, ground the changes which you have been making in your own lives, figure out how you are doing those things, get clarity about those things which you are doing in your lives. Because obviously once I turn direct and I start moving forward I start moving forward through the zodiac wheel, life is going to become fast paced once more. So with Taurus season, we finally get this chance to take that pause, to just pause and maybe experience the things, the changes which we have already made. Because I feel, I can almost wager that wherever Taurus is in your chart, those places, wherever Taurus is in your birth chart, that area of your life, whether you are a Taurus native or not, but that area of your life have been going through massive changes and have been going through a transformation. And maybe your concept about those areas have also drastically changed over these years. And now you just need to sit with that energy and let that seep in before more things come up. Because Mercury making that proper conjunction with Uranus it will be like lightning striking that tree. Yeah, it will be like that tower card which we have, where the lightning just strikes and things move. And I like a good tower. Towers in my life have been very, very magical and very transformative. But that doesn't mean that it's not scary, and that doesn't mean that it's not scary at the same time. It is scary, but then it is through that fear that we land on the star card. It is through that fear, and it is with going through that crisis that we are able to find that star within us, that we are able to connect with the manifesting power within us, that we are able to connect with that side within us which is secure and which knows its own magical abilities, which is aware of its own magic, and which knows its own powers, and which just knows and is secure. And you see, the star card is a very, very quiet card, right? The star card is very quiet card. The star card usually has a naked woman on its card and pouring water over some stones and then also into water. It just speaks about the plentifulness, about you being connected to the universe and about feeling that connection to the universe. And usually we can find that resonance, we can come to this conclusion, you can find this alignment only when we go through some massive changes in our life. So this is basically what I was talking about. So this feels like the Uranus making that conjunction with Mercury feels like to me. And this is the energy which I get, this is the energy which I feel, the lightning striking the tower and the tower breaking because the lightning has struck. But it is by going through this tower, it is by falling out of this tower that we are able to land on our own feet, and we are able to connect with the universe and align and get into alignment and transform, right? So changes are also necessary and important, but at this time it's almost like the universe has given us this beautiful moment to just be and also reflect, just be and be present with our lives and ask ourselves, like, what are some of those changes which we might have been making in our lives over this last 18 months or so? because the lunar nodes, which is the north node and the south node, have been in the Taurus Scorpio axis over the last few years, but now they are finally shifting. They'll shift into the sign of Aries and Libra, and so they'll be moving out of the Taurus Scorpio axis and into the Aries Libra axis, which is again a very cardinal sign. So with that, we are going to see a lot of new initiations in our lives, but right now they're still here, and they have given us that first glimpse of what it's gonna be like with the eclipse in the sign of Aries. But that was very short, but that doesn't mean that effects of that is going to be short. So it just gives us this beautiful opportunity, beautiful moment to just sit and see what are some of those changes which we have been making in the area of Taurus in our lives. What are some of those fixed patterns or those things or those fears of Scorpio which we have been leaving behind with the eclipses? What are some of those major shifts which we have been making in our lives? Like for me, it's definitely like this starting this channel was definitely one of those lessons, because for me Taurus is in my ninth house of spirituality and higher education and stuff, and so which puts Scorpio in my third house of communication. So, and my sun is also present in my ninth house, so spirituality has always been this huge part of me, but I have always judged myself and felt that I was not good enough to put my voice out there, that I didn't know enough to put my voice out there. But then what this eclipses told me is that we can never know enough, right? Learning is never finished. And also because, well, I am a Virgo rising, so I'm very mercurial in nature. Mercury is my ruling planet, and so learning is something which can never be done. We can never stop learning. We will never stop learning in this life. So it's okay to feel that we don't know enough, because only through knowing that will we learn more. It's when we move into that space of where we feel like we know everything, that's when we become rigid, and that's when we bring in those negative traits of Taurus into our lives, right? Those traits of being dogmatic, or those traits of being too fixed and too rigid with our ideas, and we don't want that. We want to be able to move with life and flow with life. We want to be able to experience the goodness of life, while also taking the steps to ground that energy, to ground the changes which we have been making in our lives, so that we can move forward in a better way, so that we can lead a better life, and so that we can just live our fullest potential, whatever that may be. I mean, yeah. So right now I feel like it's really this Taurus season, and up until the 14th of May, it is just giving us this moment. It is just giving us that moment to just pause and feel the changes which we have been making in our lives. Because also in the month of May, on May 16th, on May 16th, I was just checking the date, on May 16th Jupiter moves into the sign of Taurus, and I love that for us. I love that for the collective, because Jupiter moving into this sign is going to bring much abundance and much prosperity, and it's going to bring more opportunities into this sign. So wherever Taurus falls in your life, it is going to bring those opportunities into that part of your life. But also the overall theme of Taurus and the overall energy of Taurus is very much about material possessions and security and our sense of security. So I feel like the world at large is going to go through this phase where we might be getting a lot of material abundance. Now, well, obviously a lot of people might disagree, because Uranus is also present there, and Uranus is all about changing the definition. But I feel like at the same time, whatever changes are happening at this particular time were always meant to happen. We need to change with time. We cannot stay fixed and rigid, because if we stay fixed at a place for too long, life will break us. So we have to learn to move with time, because time itself moves, and everyone is aware that change is the only constant, and that is kind of the theme of this whole year, and that is kind of the theme of this season. That changes are coming and changes will keep coming, and while we might not feel so secure with the changes, and while they might bring out some of those places of insecurities within us, but at the same time changes are also necessary. And I love that the Tower cards showed up here in this particular video, because isn't this the card I was going on about? So yeah, definitely changes are coming, but at the same time changes are also necessary. Changes also give us that opportunity of growth, because if we don't get the push from life, if we are not put in some uncomfortable shoes, that we will just be staying the same and we won't be changing at all. And that is not how we grow. We only grow through changes and making those changes which might be wanting to come into our lives, right? So definitely embrace this energy of change, but at the same time know that wherever you're going to be, wherever you're going to land upon, it's going to be it is going to be the best place for you. It is going to be the best place for you to land, and you can only grow from that place. It might seem scary and it might seem dark and unpromising at that particular time, but rest assured that you can only move towards your own growth, and you can only move towards your own potential. And sometimes the changes which we experience in our lives are for our own growth and enlightenment and development. So do not be afraid of the changes which might be coming up for you. Do not be afraid of the changes which might be happening for you, which might make you feel insecure and restless, because we are moving towards something. We are moving towards a better future. We are moving towards, well, some version of the future. It might not be better immediately, but then it is for our own growth, and it is for our own transformation. Because if we don't, as I was saying, if we don't move, we don't transform, we just stay fixed. So what the Seven of Cups is telling me is that there are some of those dreams, there are some of those things, and some of those things are just a bit out of reach at this particular moment. So there's that short wait which we have, there is that short journey which we need to make before we can reach the Seven of Cups. And it makes sense with the Six of Swords here, because the Six of Swords is about that. Because with the Six of Swords here, because we have a Mercury retrograde happening right now. Yes, because I think the video will be out by the time Mercury goes. The Mercury will be going retrograde by the time the video comes out. So there is just that bit of wait. With the Magician here. It just makes sense. Okay, so there's just that bit of wait before those cups come to the surface, where we might be able to reach them, right? And the Magician here is telling us is that in that brief period, we just have to pause. We have to pause and really focus on healing, because the Magician is also the card of healing, right? The Magician is also the healer. So the Magician is telling you that you have to center yourself, come into your center, because if you're running constantly, which Taurus is kind of about that, because once you start the bull doesn't stop running, right? So it's about taking that pause and tending to your wounds and those rough patches which just need a bit of stitches maybe, right? So it's time to focus on that healing. It's time to focus on that healing, because when you are more centered, when you are in a calm state, you'll be able to connect with the divine will, you'll be able to connect with the divine creativity, and you'll be able to materialize your dreams. The cups which you are waiting for, they will come to the surface. Like, you'll be able to get them, because you as a magician, you'll be channeling that power of the universe. You will become the channel and you will bring them to the surface. And that's such a beautiful energy to work with, right? I love this energy for us. It's the change, it's the choices, it's the moving forward, and it's knowing and it's realizing, and it's knowing that you're connected to the divine source, and you are connected to the divine spark, and whatever you can think of, whatever you can imagine, you can create it into your reality. That can be created into your reality. Anything you can imagine, anything you can visualize, that can happen, and that will happen for you. Have faith, have trust in yourself. So this was the Druidcraft Tarot, and this is the deck which I'm going to use for my monthly readings for myself during the month of May, and I just wanted to share this with you all because, well, this channel is also about my personal journey, and I usually switch out decks at the end of every month. So right now I'm working through the Dreaming Way Tarot. Yeah, give me a minute. Right now I'm working with the Dreaming Way Tarot, and so the tarot which I'm going to use the next month is going to be this Druid Tarot deck. And I haven't been able to make up my mind which oracle deck, or which oracle deck which I want it would be the best to pair with this deck, which oracle deck would go the best with this deck. I'm going to continue using I'm going to continue using my angels and ancestors oracle cards along with this deck for the rest of the next month as well. But if you have any suggestions, if you have any advice on which deck I can pair with this deck, do leave your suggestions in the comment section below. I would love to know which deck you would like to pair with this, or if you have used this deck, which oracle deck did you pair with this tarot deck. So thank you for watching, thank you for allow me to channel out my thoughts here, thank you for joining me, thank you for subscribing, and if you like this video, do give this video a like. Let me know your views, your opinions on what this Taurus season feels like to you, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.